Alex Hormozi just crushed the Guinness World Record for the biggest book launch ever. It's estimated he cleared $100 million. And the crazy thing is, he didn't even have a single sales call. He just pointed his audience to a link and used a genius but simple compounding growth loop that you can copy. I call it getting paid to create. And I use the same growth loop to help a creator hit six-figure months in profit with no ads, no sales calls, and no team. In this video, I'll break it down step by step so you can run it yourself. Most creators and business owners are told the exact same thing. Run ads, build funnels, host free webinars, send DMs, or get on endless sales calls. The problem is all of that eats up time, requires a team, and puts you on a hamster wheel to bring revenue in. But the truth is you don't actually need to do any of that. Instead, you can flip the script and actually get paid upfront to create the very content that will fuel your business. And that content doesn't just make money once. They become monetizable Legos that you can rearrange and sell forever. You do this by building what I call a content growth loop. Here's the main idea. You're already serving your customers anyway. You might as well get paid on both sides for creating that asset. So you serve your customers, repackage it in a way that can be monetized in multiple ways. I recommend running a paid workshop. And in that paid workshop, you both perform that content live and then receive questions from the audience. And that content can also be monetized or used for your top of funnel YouTube strategy. So the core of it is you're already serving your customers or clients. All you need to do is package them as assets that can be monetized. When you monetize those assets, you attract more leads like them. Those leads are higher quality because they've shown a willingness to pay, and their questions give you insights about what their pain points are. So all you have to do is take that data and create content around that. This allows you to get paid to create content, rather than create content to get paid. And each cycle compounds. You can earn revenue today while building assets that will bring in revenue tomorrow. Now, this works for a number of reasons. The first is that the perceived value of an offer when it's paid is greater than it is when it's free. And like I mentioned, when people show a willingness to pay, they self-filter for higher qualified leads. The second reason this works is that it's high leverage. You're double dipping and sometimes triple dipping on the same asset that you're creating. First, you're serving your pre-existing customers. Then you're serving leads that pay to join that workshop. And lastly, you can repackage whatever comes about from that workshop to other potential customers in the future. This builds you a compounding moat that builds you a library of playbooks that no one else has. When you solve their problems well, you'll attract more people like them. This makes for a hyper-efficient content creation process. All right, now let's look at Alex Hormozi's latest book launch to see what this looks like at scale. You see, the primary asset that Alex Hormozi was selling was a book. But to showcase the concepts of the book in practice, he also had upsells. The main upsell was a $6,000 offer where you would donate 200 books. But really what you were buying were 12 playbooks that were all consolidated from the previous workshops that he's held in the past year. And I wouldn't be surprised if this was the plan of the workshops all along. You see, Acquisition.com only just recently started hosting workshops. These are live in-person sessions where people will fly out to Las Vegas to the Acquisition.com headquarters and interact with the team directly. Over the past couple of months, they've actually been publishing recordings of those workshops to the main YouTube channel. So all of these workshops were recorded for the content growth loop. Everyone paid $5,000 to get into the door. There they got a handful of presentations that were prepared in advance. That was probably a result of already serving their clients. And then after those presentations, they have an open Q&A session. In those Q&A sessions, there are qualified business owners that paid $5,000 asking high-quality questions to a team that has high-quality answers. That back and forth of high-quality question and high-quality answer extracts out insights that you wouldn't be able to get anywhere else. And although the direct recordings wouldn't make for high-performing content, what you can do is take the essence of the insights that were generated and pick the best gems to create content around. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of Alex Hormozi's top-of-funnel content was informed from these workshops. But what I do know is he made $100 million just repackaging that exact content. And like I mentioned, he sold that $100 million without a single sales call. It's because that content alone was valuable enough. When you have that many business owners and that much data, it's a no-brainer. This is the content loop at scale. Now, I've actually run this exact playbook at a smaller scale. Now, if you're not familiar with Callaway, he's a creator that's world-class at content. He understands the first principles and the underlying psychology and is masterful at articulating how it works. And as a result, he's been able to build a pretty big following. Now, we built and launched Short Form Academy, which is a program that helps business owners get better at content. And we identified that we could run this exact content loop. Because we already have business owners inside of Short Form Academy asking us questions and needing help, all we needed to do was create content to help those existing customers. One of those problems was hooks. So Callaway created a deep dive on hooks informed existing members that they're getting a deep dive, and sold tickets to that deep dive as a workshop to his audience. And we made tens of thousands of dollars for this single asset that continues to generate revenue. This was an asset that already needed to be made, so we added value to existing customers while also attracting new ones. And the great part about it is that as an attraction offer, more members of his audience got to step inside, see what Shortform Academy was about, and make a decision as to whether or not they wanted more. So a percentage of those ticket buyers that wouldn't have joined Shortform Academy on their own now have a much bigger reason to. And all the questions he asked and the answers he gave can be used to inform the top-of-funnel content strategy to attract more people like them. That's the beauty of the content growth loop in play. So hopefully, seeing these two different examples, Hormozi at scale and Callaway with a leaner operation, shows you how you might be able to run the content growth loop for your own business. Because whether you're just one person or a global brand, this stuff works. So how do you actually apply this information and build a content growth loop for yourself? Well, let me give you the exact playbook that you can run. The first step is to start with one paying customer. The key here is that you're not trying to create assets to attract others. What you're doing is serving the people that are already paying you. Because they're already paying you, they've shown you that they value your solution, and solving more of their problems attracts more people like them. So identify a pain point that they need help with that your offer currently doesn't cover, and take it upon yourself to create an asset that would help solve that problem. The format doesn't necessarily matter, whether it's a template, a playbook, or a workshop, but I do recommend running a workshop. In this format, you actually get real-time feedback in delivering that piece of content, and there's a greater allure to this event that you can sell tickets to. A workshop also gives you the space to interact with others outside of the ecosystem. Step 2 is to actually sell it as a paid workshop. Once you've created the asset, you understand that you're solving a pain point that your customers already have. But in order to make it compelling to strangers, you need to package it as a compelling offer. You want to give it a name, write compelling copy for it, stick it on a landing page, and make it purchasable. And you can link to this page anywhere you're getting leads. Step 3 is to run the workshop. The easiest way to understand this is to write a YouTube outline and perform it live in front of a live audience. After you've done about 20 to 45 minutes of presentation, you can open it up to Q&A where the audience will ask you questions. Here, you can answer their questions and create more content. The next step is to sell it as an on-demand asset. If you positioned it as a live workshop, you can sell the recording or post-process the transcript with AI to create an asset that can be referenced long after the workshop is over. This allows you to extend the monetization potential from a live event. And a bonus tip here is, if you process the transcript with AI, you can also extract insights that can inform your top-of-funnel content strategy. There's likely a lot of gems to be found in these transcripts. If you just create content focused on those things, you might be able to build a very valuable audience. As you post that content, you can link to the paid resources that you just created. And this completes the whole loop because that content drives more customers. Those customers give you more reasons to create assets. Those assets repackaged as workshops bring you more leads. And those leads give you more money, assets, and content that you can use to drive more leads and customers. That's the whole loop. You just repeat that over and over again and watch it compound over time. With just enough reps, you might be able to hit $100 million yourself. All right, so just to recap, you don't need ads, you don't need sales calls, and you don't need to chase people with DMs. All you need to start is one paying customer. Create an asset for them, repackage it as a paid workshop, and let that compound. That's how Alex Hormozi launched the biggest book event in history, and how solo creators like Callaway are pulling in insane profits. The same principle applies whether you're a massive company or a solopreneur. And the beauty of it all is in the simplicity of it. Every interaction that you have to provide value to your existing customers and solve their problems is also an opportunity to monetize and build a massive moat. So here's my challenge to you. With your next client or customer, don't just deliver, package what you create so that others can benefit. That one move can change your entire business model. And if you want to see how I'm building an AI native platform to make this whole thing easier, check out the links in the description. All right, that's it for this one. Until next time, peace.